to the Golden Gates. This is Quad Radio USA.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Now, with all the dirt from the world of ATV motocross and GNCC racing, here's Mr. 10 Seconds, Rodney Tomlin.
And a good evening to everyone as we welcome you out here to a beautiful and great night, at least here in Quad Radio USA, as it is a Quad Radio live night, Wednesday, August 29th. And welcome to the last Wednesday of August. And for a lot of people, I think this could be considered as well the last Wednesday of summer as we get set to roll into that Labor Day weekend, and that's kind of the unofficial wind down to summer 2012, and a lot of things going on in and around the ATV Racing Nation as we unite once again here on a Wednesday night and kind of get up to date on some of the things that are taking place in this world. And of course we're going to be talking a little bit about GNCC tonight and going to be focusing on a couple of up-and-comers. We talked with Chris Borich last week, Walker Fowler, and also Gabe Phillips and Johnny Gallagher. And, of course, they had a lot to say, I think, about, what that XC1 and XC2 class is like from some people that have been around it for a few years. But right now we've got a onslaught of new talent that is coming up, and it was kind of the wave was kind of led there by Walker Fowler with that youth ranks. But, man, I tell you, since Walker has graduated and things have started going so well, we have seen so many riders start to really shine through that made their way up through the youth ranks, and two of those that we're going to be talking to tonight include one Braden Hinthorn and also Landon Wolf. You may have read the Tuesday Toolbox that was done on GNCCRacing.com with Landon Wolf there a few weeks ago. I think that also if you are a avid follower of Quad Radio Live, you probably were able to tune into a broadcast earlier in the season that featured Braden Hinthorn in it as well. A couple of things to remind you of as we get set to roll tonight. Again, for ATV motocross racers, I want to remind you that the ATV motocross banquet has been scheduled for the Saturday following the Thanksgiving holiday. So it'll be like Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, Friday, Black Friday, and Saturday, which is now known as ATV Banquet Day, and it's moved to Morgantown, West Virginia this year to the beautiful Waterfront Place Hotel. We've had the GNCC banquets there. It's a great and magnificent place to have a banquet as well. If you want to get in on the improved pricing, you want to get a hold of those folks, you can go to atvmotocross.com. There they'll link you to how to get a hold of that place and let them know that you want those special room rates, and you'll be able to get those for the weekend there at the Waterfront Place. So that's good things going on there. Also, I had a old buddy of mine talking to me this evening, and he is talking about doing some ATV motocross indoor this winter in Huntington, West Virginia. It's been a hugely successful arena cross area for amateur motocross for many, many years. The place fills up and sells out for two-wheel motocross, but he comes up and he says, hey, I got some things going on, and weekend of Black Friday, as a matter of fact, after Thanksgiving Thursday, he has said that they have that date open, and if anybody is interested in that, hit us up on Facebook and on Twitter, and let us know at Quad Radio, Rodney H. Tomlin on Facebook there, and a few emails wouldn't hurt if you go to quadradio.com, comments, and I'll try to check those as much as I possibly can, and let's get some feel out and see if you folks will be interested. It'll be something that'll be highly I can imagine probably a sold-out crowd if you want to know the truth. So if you want to race in front of a sold-out crowd, if you're interested in something like that happening, let me know, and I'll let this guy know, and we'll see if we can't get something like that going for the wintertime months and heading into the winter. But that's some of the things that we've got going on. I know last weekend we held the Matt Bartosik celebration race. I haven't had a chance to talk with anyone about that, but hopefully we'll be able to dial someone up on that and talk a little bit more about that in the future. But right now, we are live on a Wednesday night, and we go here, and it seems like that I'm probably the only one that is online with us here tonight for whatever reason. Johnny Gallagher and the folks are supposed to be joining us here in just a few moments, so stand by. We'll have more of Quad Radio Live coming up here in just a couple of moments from Quad Radio USA. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Impact Solutions. Impact Solutions is your authorized they are your authorized Elko Suspension Service Center. They're located over at 985 Harris Highway in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Impact Solutions has an ad on quadradio.com. You can click on that, and that'll take you directly to their website and or their Facebook page, which will actually give you all the details and information that you'll need to get a hold of those folks. I want to say thanks to those guys, as they have helped out so much in making sure that Quad Radio stays on and will continue for a while. And without folks like those guys stepping up to the plate, it definitely would not be possible. But Quad Radio Live continues here in just a few moments at quadradio.com. Once again, everyone, we welcome you to Quad Radio Live here on a, guess this would be a Wednesday night still as we get things up and rolling here. And we say good evening and welcome to one Braden Henthorn. Braden making his way to Quad Radio USA. So what's going on, Braden? You got us on here, buddy?
Yeah, got you. I don't know, man. Just been hanging out, trying to make it through the break, keeping stuff together and riding and whatnot.
Is that right? So have you been doing any racing or a lot of racing or anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't missed a weekend yet. There's a lot of locals around here, so we try to at least hit one every weekend, sometimes even two.
All right. Well, Braden, I know that we got probably quite a bit to talk about, man. This has been a pretty remarkable year for you to kick things off as far as a Pro-Am rider, man. I mean, you started out, what was it, late last season, kind of testing the waters there, man, and it was like success from the word go, and this season it has translated into even more and more success. I mean, it's been, it seems like every time you line up, most every race, you've got a pretty decent finish, and for the most part, it's, got you into a position where you're like, second place in the points, I believe.
Yeah, I guess it just all came natural after my college A year, really. I mean, it's just been more fun than anything, so I guess whatever's fun you like to do, I guess I do it a lot. And definitely been a pretty good adventure, and I like to think that I'm succeeding, so and try to keep it up and go farther.
Well, sure, man. I mean, you don't think this has been a successful season so far? You've got some wins. You've been on the podium a bunch. You're second in points, and you're not really far out from the points lead right now. I mean, all it takes is like, another good race or two and some bad luck for somebody else that you yourself have been presented with, I'm sure, on more than one occasion this season.
Oh, yeah. This year's definitely been probably the biggest stepping stone and the biggest success year of my career, really. Just that it's finally worked my way up into the Pro-Am class and was able to actually get some wins in the first year and kind of make a name for myself. And being second in the points is really a big accomplishment for me. I mean, as bad as I'd like to be number one, but I don't know, Pat, I think he's in the lead there by more than 10 points. I haven't looked at it for a while, but I think he's in the lead there by more than 10 points, and he's hard to beat. Tough to cut. I mean, he's beatable in the race, but man, he's consistent all year, and it's just got us all beat. Really, we've been all banging each other up behind him, and he's just been clicking away at solid finishes and putting the points on us. But yeah, I'd like to have a couple more good races and see what happens towards the end of the season here and see if maybe I can't get the first in the points for the Pro-Am class.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk about this. You said you're maybe a little more than 10 points. For some reason, I got a computer that decided to take a puke right whenever I needed it most. But that's the good thing about our good friends over the Impact Solutions. I've got another computer that doesn't do that, so that's the one we're working off of right now. But, I mean, looking back over things, the points right now, they aren't separated that much, and it looks like a rather competitive season, not with just one person, though. I mean, Pat McGuire's had a pretty good run this season, led most of the season. There's been a lot of different guys up on the podium, a lot of different guys in the center of the podium, and you're being one of them.
Yeah, pretty much this year, I was surprised, actually. I thought there'd be, like, maybe two or three of us up there in the middle of the podium, but really, everyone's been stepping their game up this year, clicking off wins, and I don't know, it's just a whole new level of competition. I mean, I'd like to be up in the middle of the box some more, but being on the podium is just a big accomplishment for the Pro-Am class this year since everyone's really stepped their game up and been sticking it out there.
Right, and I mean, gosh, I mean, the battles are so intense. I mean, coming into the season, everyone was talking about Gabe Phillips. I mean, Gabe was going to be the guy to beat, and not saying that he hasn't been a guy to beat, because you guys have. I'm sure you've locked bars with him or Nerf bars with him anyway on more than one occasion this season, huh?
Oh yeah, me and him had some pretty serious battles back and forth all year. Really, and we're pretty good friends. We get along, and not the man out on the track. It's just sheer war for 2 hours out there between me and him, man. It's just back and forth and back and forth. You get ahead of him, you're like, man, I think I got it this time, and then he comes out of nowhere and he's back around you, and then you got a good battle going all race, and it's just a good time, really, win or lose.
Right, and what about some of the other competition? Let's talk about some of those guys. Eric Hoyland, a teammate of yours, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. Eric, and Santo and Eric, and Santo's got me and Eric off on a pretty good foot this year so far, and man, me and him had some pretty good battles too. Santo, man, I don't think he could be any happier with it being a team there between me and Eric, battling each other and out there battling the rest of the class, just with the two Derisi bikes out there and being able to get both the Derisi bikes on the podium at most of the races. Really, me and Eric have been able to been on the podium together quite a few times, and me and him ride pretty good together, and I don't think we can make Santa any happier with the way they've been performing this year.
Yeah, were you expecting that kind of success this season by any chance?
I mean, honestly, I was looking forward to it, but I didn't really know if we could be able to pull it off. But now that I know what we're working with, I think we can actually step it up some more and really come ahead on this.
What about the dynamics of the team? You guys work together out there. You cutthroat against each other. Is it just as ruthless between you and Eric as it would be, say, between you and Gabe, who I'm sure are pretty good buddies off the track?
Yeah, I mean, you can say me and Eric, I mean, we help each other out on the track, but, I mean, between all the Pro-Am guys, really, we're all pretty good friends. I mean, it's not really any hatred out there towards anyone, but we like to help each other out, but we like to beat each other pretty good, too. So, really, it's just every man for himself, I would say.
So whenever the green flag waves on a race, man, I mean, generally, what's it like? Take me through a normal GNCC start from row number 2, because, I mean, if you look at things from the grand perspective, a lot of times you guys, and you have been in the overall lead on more than one occasion after adjusted time, or at least in a podium position spot in the overall lead, through the early parts of the race. So there seems to be a little more intensity going on back there with row 2 than in row 1 with the XC1 guys. You know what I'm talking about? So what is it like back there? I mean, is it just a madhouse? Everybody just cutthroat going after it right from the get-go?
Yeah, that's something moving up into the Pro-Am class from the A class. And the Pro-Am class, everyone is just all out the whole 2 hours. Like, we don't slow down from start to finish. When I don't know, just as nerve-wracking as ever on the line, every race. You got the butterflies, your stomach's real light, your heart's pounding, and the 10 seconds of the yell, man, it's like there's no other feeling in the world. And as soon as we take off, it's just, you better be ready for some good battles and all-out war. It's a madhouse for sure. We're just all we all like to look forward to seeing how high we can get in the overall finish. So you got to go as hard as you can from start to end to make a point there.
So you guys, I mean, making a point, you said you got to go as hard as you can to make a point. What's the point you're trying to make out there, man?
I mean, it's just point I personally am trying to make is point that I have the willpower and the speed and the endurance to actually be up in the XC1 class and make a name for myself up there and actually ride with the big dogs sometime.
Really? So, I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 17 right now.
So, when will you be 18?
November 17th is my birthday.
So I guess you'll be eligible for XC1 Pro at the beginning of the 2013 season. With what you're saying, are you trying to make a statement that you're ready to go this quick? Is that the statement you're trying to make? Or are you just trying to give those guys something to think about for a year or two? Are you gonna hang back here and battle for this championship, win or lose, and go forward? Or are you going to just come back and try to either, if you win it, try to defend it, or lose it, try to gain it next year?
It's not really set in stone yet. There's been talk about the XC1 class for me next year, but really it's going to be a decision at the end of the year how I feel coming out of the 2012 season, the XC2, and to see if I feel that I can do it, I'll do it. But if I feel like I need another year in XC2, I'll probably try that. But if not next year, it'll be a year after that. You'll see me in XC1, I'm sure.
That's great. Now, another question I've got, and there's a couple that are starting to build right here, and I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but the question that I've got, one of the questions that I've got, the speed, the intensity at which not only you, but a lot of the riders that are making their way through the ranks right now, in the College A, Landon Wolf, who is going to be on the show here in a little bit, not only but Landon, but there's also that other kid, your buddy that I always get you mixed up with there. And, what's that?
Bryson?
Yeah, Bryson Neal. And for some reason, I drew a blank on it again. But for Bryson Neal, you guys really seem to be excelling up through the ranks. And not only you two, but, there are a lot of the class that is excelling, and not only in the guys, but even we're seeing it in the girls class and the women's class, I think. Do you think that what you guys did in the youth classes is what's helped you achieve what you have achieved so quickly?
Yeah, I think me and Bryson especially, we kind of had we've had the same deal, me and him, kind of through the youth ranks and on the 300s and stuff. We honestly have done the same thing, same bikes, same rides, and we just, me and him always just kind of had it out for each other. We're awesome buddies. We have a great time. We always ride together and whatnot, but deep down between me and him, it's a competition. It's just who's better, and we have a good time doing it, and we just, me and him, we just try to push ourselves and excel as much as we can just because I think we're trying to outdo each other, really, more than anyone else.
So how do you feel whenever you see, because it's like he's like a year or so behind you, you do one thing, you were College A, he was College B, he dominated there, you stepped up to XC2, Pro-Am, he stepped up to College A, you were a front runner in that class, and he was a front runner in the College A class right from the beginning. And, when you look back on that, man, is it something, because of the intensity of the competition between you two, is it something you're like, oh, man, I've got to excel and be even better on my next step because I need to stay ahead of him?
Yeah, it's really just how it is. It's like, man, he did this in the College A this year, and I didn't even get anything like that done last year. It's like, I need to step it up this year, so he's got something to try to beat next year. That's what he always tells me. He's like, I'm just following in your footsteps. I said, man, you're making your own footsteps. You're smoking everything I ever did, but man, it's just, I don't know, it's just back and forth, back and forth.
That's great, and he is a phenomenal rider. He comes from a phenomenal family. His pops, I've known him for a long, long time. Real good folks there, no doubt about it. And I think what you guys, your families are probably pretty tight then, aren't they?
Oh yeah, we're all good friends. We hang out at the races all the time and have dinner at each other's campers and whatnot. We get along really good, even outside of the races. We do a lot of stuff together and hang out and whatnot.
That's great. Now, some other things that I wanted to talk to you about. You'd mentioned that you were moving and looking at, and that was a distinct and a very high possibility that the XC1 Pro class is the next step. And the funny thing about this is, looking at that XC1 Pro row number one, it's not real healthy in numbers, but the talent is intense. Row 2, the numbers are very, very healthy, and the talent is very, very intense. The step, obviously, to reach from a top Pro-Am rider to a top 5 XC1 Pro rider is a pretty big step. I realize this, and I prelude this with this question because I want you to understand that I realize that there's a lot it's a bigger step than probably what, maybe a lot of listeners don't realize. I realize this as a rider. I know you realize it. You as a young rider, you're excited and ready to get to the XC1 Pro class. What is it about a lot of these guys that seem to just kind of hang back and lay back in the XC2 Pro-Am class, and they don't seem to want to go any further than that? It's like they want to be the champions of the XC2 Pro-Am class, and they don't want to move on any further. I mean, what is the draw to stay there? What is the draw to move ahead?
I think it's more, to me, it'd be just more of how hard you're willing to push yourself and how much you want it and how much you're willing to go through to get to it, I guess. And those guys, maybe they don't think they can push any harder. Maybe they got other things they got to do outside of racing that they can't really do what they need to do to be the XC1 rider they want to be. But I don't know. To me, I'm just gonna. I mean, it's all I've ever wanted. It's all I'm ever gonna try to do. So I mean, might as well do it early and get it out of the way, and then just work my way up in the XC1 class and see what I can do, and hopefully don't make a fool of myself, because I think I can push myself hard enough and actually be a pretty big name in the XC1 class within a couple of years.
Right. And now let me ask you, do you have any advantages over anyone else per se? I mean, because I guess for a lot of guys, what I've heard a lot of guys say, it comes down to the dollar and cents of it. They said they can make more money as a top 3 or 4 Pro-Am guy than a top 8 or 9 pro guy. I mean, is it about the money? Is that what it's about? I mean, do you think that's what's holding a lot of the guys back? Do you have an advantage over some of these guys in some way, shape, or form, that maybe you've got a program that's a little better funded than some may have? And I'm not saying that in like saying that, oh, you got a silver spoon and, you get taken care of. But, it's obvious, I mean, you guys have got a good program and you've got good support behind it, whatever and wherever it comes from.
Yeah, before this year, we were actually struggling with the finances, really, because, I mean, I didn't have any help at all. And Santa DeRisi, he picked me up, man, and it was just like, everything turned right around. We had everything we needed when we needed it, and he sent everything out when I needed it and got everything together for me, and all I had to do was just bolt the bikes together and just put them together and go. And it's been like that all year. He's kept his promise, and I think me and Santa, we're going to have a pretty good deal going on for next year, and I think I'm funded pretty good. My dad, he takes care of me. He said, if this is what I want to do, this is what we're going to do, and we're not going to slack off at all. We're going to give it all we got, no matter what the circumstances. But with the other riders, I've never really paid attention to what their like funds are, or what help they have, or what's going on. But I don't know if they got anything like Santa, man. They struck gold, because man, I still can't believe I got such a good deal going on with him. I can't thank him enough for helping me out this year and through the next couple of years, however long he wants to keep putting up with me.
Well, I would imagine he'd want to keep up with you for a while, honestly. I mean, you've done nothing but good things. I'm sitting here looking at some results right now. You, as a rookie XC1 or XC2 Pro-Am rider, have actually got 2 wins on the season, and you've been on the podium nearly every other time. You've got an 18th and a 16th place finish. But, I mean, you've got second and thirds and 1 4th other than that. And looking at the points right now, it is a 16-point deficit. That 16 and 8 that you have right now are probably the only things that are separating you and Pat McGuire from leading the points right now.
Yeah, like I said, Pat was really consistent this year, and me, I've had that was two bad races. He said that was two I actually didn't finish. I broke. It was Georgia. I broke a clutch basket flew apart on me there, and I raced all the way up until the last lap there, and let go on me. The last lap was a pretty big letdown, but we got that figured out and got everything back together, and that was when we came back to New York and got that first win and got the ball rolling. And then that 18th was at the Mountaineer, I think, and that was subframe bolts broke, I think, and that put me out of the race about the third lap, and I just wasn't really what we were looking for. If we didn't have those, I think I'd be a lot better in the points. I'm not saying I'd be in first, but that gap would definitely be a lot smaller. But I think I looked at the results there a couple days ago, and I think Pat has only one halfway bad race anyway. I think he had a 10th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think his consistency is what's going to bring him to the top at the end of the year if he can keep it up.
Yeah, and it's funny about Pat, man. I mean, if he gets out front, he's tough to track down. I've kind of likened him to a rabbit, if you will, kind of like a fox and hare or something like that, or a fox and hound. Because I mean, this guy, when he gets going, if he can get out front of you guys, get the whole shot, he's somebody that's tough to track down and tough to keep the radar on, man.
Yeah, he's a really, really good rider, really smart rider. I mean, I rode with him in Florida all winter last winter, and man, I learned so much from him, and I think he learned a lot from me. And we got together and just kind of just learned off each other and had fun and rode together. And I mean, he is just, I don't know, I've learned so much from him. He's just so smart and smooth about the way he rides. I mean, it'd be hard to catch him once he's out front, just the way he makes no mistakes, I don't think. He's just flawless with his riding. He's not the stupidest, wildest, fastest speed, but there's no way he's going to bobble in the whole race.
For sure. And there's one other guy that is kind of sticking his nose into things right now, and that's Matt Hanna. Matt's been around for a while, but he never really seemed to make a big name for himself. But, man, that guy's been coming on here lately. I mean, have you had to race head-to-head against him any so far this year?
Yeah, I ran into him a couple times. I don't recall what race exactly, but, yeah, me and him kind of off at the beginning of the race, we'd tangle up and ride together, and me and him usually not the best at our starts. Well, actually, take that back. He's been getting a lot better at his starts. But at the beginning of the year, me and him had some pretty bad starts together, and we'd actually just kind of hook up, and I'd dive in behind him, and we'd just kind of start clicking away at the tail end of the field and work our way up together. And then it just seemed like I'd pull away a little bit, or something would happen to him, and I don't know. He's just. But towards second half, I guess, of the year, or towards the end, I guess, he's really been stepping it up and riding good and keeping himself there all year. And yeah, he's still a pretty big threat, I think, between taking away points from wins and trying to gain points on Pat, trying to get up to number one spot,
Yeah, for sure. And I tell you, somebody else that's been, and you might know this guy, and the reason I bring him up is because I think you guys might have tussled a little bit or tussled, I guess you could say, a little bit in the youth ranks, and that is the one young Roman Brown, the number 44 machine. He's got a couple of top 10 finishes. He started there at round 7. He got a couple of top 10s, a 7th, a 14th, and a 9th. And he moved up from what I believe it was the College A class, if I'm not mistaken. What about this kid? Have you know much about him?
Nah, he's kind of a quiet dude. He keeps all his secrets kept to himself. He's a hard guy to read. There's not much I can tell you about him. I mean, he's a smooth, good rider. I mean, he came down this way and stayed with Adam McGill there a little bit, and me and Adam pretty good buddies. He's dating my sister and whatnot.
That's one thing we haven't even brought up yet. See, that I'm leaving the next 20
Oh,
minutes
yeah,
open
I
for
knew
that.
that was going to happen.
I don't think Landon's going to
But,
call
yeah,
in, so it's all about Adam here in a few minutes. But go ahead.
Yeah, but he's Roman came down and stayed with Adam there for a week or something, and he brought him a couple of our local races, and I mean we rode together, but I think he had some problems at one of the local races we raced together, so I think I beat him there. But man, he's a good rider and tough to compete with, and I know he's just a quiet, good keep everything to himself, and he's just a tough cookie to read there.
Now, is he quiet because, he's just like a machine, or is he quiet because he's just shy, or what's going on there? Is he trying to psych you guys out?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's shy. Adam told me that he talk a lot, so I think really it's just he's playing driving a good game, playing a pretty good game on us. He's got in my head a couple of times, scared me, freaked me out. I don't know, man.
That is hilarious. So, got inside your head, freaked you out. You know, Roman, I think Roman and Adam could both freak me out. Adam's just a crazy guy, and then Roman, he's just got those dark eyes, and he's just big enough that he could scare you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Roman. I'd be a little bit more scared of Roman than I would Adam. I've seen a lot more of Adam than I've been wanting to here in the last couple months or so. I went to the beach with him this summer and whatnot. Man, I learned so much about him. He's not much of the scariest guy ever anymore.
So, I guess the gloves are about to come off. Has he been picking on you as far as being his big brother, your big sister's boyfriend? Has he been playing that card on you or anything like that?
You know, he's actually been pretty good about it. Like, I don't know, he's pretty much when he's here with her, he's pretty much dating me. We hang out more than they do. I mean, he comes here to see her, and he brings a quad and a dirt bike every time. He's always here to ride with me and hang out with her when the sun goes down. So,
oh man,
I guess it works out both ways for both of us.
There you go. Spends all day with you, and then kind of hangs out with her at night, huh?
Yeah.
Now, does that cause any problems between you and your sister?
No, not really. I think my sister's okay with it. She's pretty big into this racing stuff, and she supports it pretty good. But I mean, we've had our problems. You know how brothers and sisters fight. Yeah,
I do. As a matter of fact. So what's the biggest thing you guys? What's the last fight you guys got into, and what was it about?
I don't even know. I can't even think back to when the last fight we had. We get in little scuffles here and there all the time. I mean, I take her potato chips or something and eat them all before she can get to them or something like that. But I don't know.
She gets more upset with you taking her tater chips than she does taking her boyfriend all day, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. She's pretty protective of her tater chips. She is a college student.
That's funny. So let's talk about. You say you've been spending the summer. How is Adam doing? I know when we last saw Adam, and maybe we'll get him on sometime soon. Is he there by any chance?
He's not. No, he's not.
Okay.
He was here today, actually.
Was he?
Yeah, he stopped by and dropped a seat cover off for my dad to put together for him, and brought some tools back. We went into him, but he's been doing real good this summer. Actually, he's been had all the local races I've been at, and then some, and he's been putting his head down pretty good. And, my dad had a motocross track built at the house this summer, and he's been coming over a lot and riding it with me, and we've been racing a lot of races together and just cleaning up all the locals' money 1 and 2 here around the house, and there's a team race this weekend up at Fast Tracks. I think me and him are gonna do together. So.
Oh yeah, that's
pretty good for me and him, I think.
What day is that coming up on? Is that like a Monday or a Sunday or?
It'll be a Saturday, and then we'll have that team race on Saturday, and then we're going to go to a local series we run here on Sunday.
So you guys been making a pretty good chunk of money this summer, then, huh?
Oh yeah, you got to make it. You got to make it somehow.
Well, let me ask you this: how many times you beat Adam?
Not very many, but I have before. I'm going to say probably maybe two or three times in the whole local racing career here.
Oh, really? Has that been this summer?
No, I don't think I've got them yet this year. Actually, I think most of the wins I got against him were last year. That he'd have a little problem, and mechanic Mark McGill there would be fiddling with his bike long enough for me to come back around him, and he wouldn't have time to catch up. We'd get around him every now and again. He'd burn him up pretty good.
Oh, wow. So what was some of the crazy? You said you guys went to the beach this summer. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh,
Hey.
man, I don't even know where to start about that. Going to the beach, we had the intention that we weren't going to do anything motorsports or anything. We're not going to ride or race or nothing. And so we didn't take any quads or nothing down there. We just kind of spent the week with the family. But, I mean, you know Adam, and you know how things should get between a couple guys that are pretty good buddies at the beach. So we took scooters down there, and we had some pretty good road races on the scooters and whatnot, and chilling on the beach, getting a little sun on our buns, on our Speedos and whatnot. I mean, it was a good time.
Speedos?
Speedos.
How come McGill always talks people in? Did you ever wear a Speedo before you ever got around him?
Well, no, I didn't. He kind of opened a new door to me with the Speedos there.
You know, I've seen him open that door for so many people over the last few summers. I'm beginning to wonder what it is about Adam McGill and these Speedos.
Who knows? Maybe he's a little fruity. Who knows?
Well, whatever. We're going to have to get him on there. We'll have to ask him about it. But so you guys got the Speedos. So how did you? Is there any pictures, any photos up on Facebook or anything?
I don't know if there were any pictures of the Speedos. Actually, I think there's a couple pictures in my sister's Facebook of the beach, but I'm not sure about the Speedos. But we can get you a snapshot and send it in if you really want a picture of us in our Speedos.
I would love to have a picture of you guys in your Speedo. No, wait a minute. Now I'm sounding as bad as Adam.
Oh, man.
I got the live studio audience here at Quad Radio Live in the studio laughing at me now. They're all like, they don't hear your end of the conversation, but they're beginning to wonder what's going on my end. Asking somebody to see them I want pictures of them in their Speedos. Hey, we just had somebody join in. Who we got with us here?
Landon Wolf.
Hey, Landon, buddy, how you doing, man?
Not too bad. How you guys been?
Doing real good. Stand by. We'll be right there with you, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, so any other good dirt that you want to throw out there about what could possibly be your future brother-in-law if things work out that way for you?
Well, let's just say we'll save that dirt for later. See if it's really gonna happen for us. I got a lot of dirt on him. I mean, he's got a lot on me too, so I don't want to say too much. You're gonna get him on here too.
Okay. Well, okay. Maybe I'll wait a while and give him time to forget about it before I get him back on here.
Yeah, he don't let a lot of things go down very easy. He sticks stuff out and drags along as long as he can. I mean, he'll hold it against me forever.
I don't doubt that a bit, man. Well, I just want to say thanks for coming on out and joining us here at Quad Radio. It's been a great night, and it's really been fun getting to know you, and I really hope that things work in your favor as far as, if you're ready to make that step up to the XC1. I hope you go out there and you give those guys a run for their money right off the get-go. I mean, heck, Walker Fowler did it. I don't see why you can't do it and mix things up. And I know that Walker has already made mention that he's worried about a few of you guys that are working your way up through the ranks right now anyway.
That's what I like to hear.
Hey, Robbie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Johnny G.
Hey, sorry for the late join in here, but I figured I'd jump right in. I heard you say something about Braden worrying the establishment at such a young age. There's been a number of guys that have come up through, shown some speed, but Braden's got a lot of natural ability, and if he can harness that and send it all in the right direction, he's done some amazing things on and off the bike. Actually, was watching him at Snowshoe, and the day before he was riding about 25-mile-an-hour wheelies on his mountain bike down through the pro pits. And actually, I was talking with Brandon Summers, who, as you know, was one of the top guys just a few years ago, and is quite a student of the game. And he basically made the observation that Braden's got a lot of natural ability when it comes to just becoming one with the machine. So, if he does the right training, puts in the right work, gets the right people around him, he's certainly a threat. But I don't know if we're so much worried as we are, still to have somebody else come up and mix it up. I've gotten to ride with Braden a couple times this year. Kid's a good kid and rides well, and definitely looking forward to him making a bump up here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it should be. I'm sitting here looking at the overall points right now. Braden Henthorn setting 10th overall. That's pretty good for an XC1 or XC2 rookie, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I would say that's probably other than I'm not actually sure how Walker finished his first year in the XC2 class. Well, actually, now that I am sure he finished 7th his first year in XC2, which would have been 2010. But other than Walker, for a first-year XC2 guy, Brandon Summers actually, I think, came out of the XC2 class as number 6, and he was only in there for 1 year. But Braden still got 4 more races to step that up, and the way he's been riding, and I know he's had a couple of bad races that have held him back, so he can be consistent these last 4, and certainly every year the competition gets stiffer. So, and his age is a factor as well. Braden, you're still 17, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so I mean he's definitely definitely got youth on his side. Got a lot of growing as a rider to do, and it's only going to benefit him. Got a great family. I'm sure anybody that's at the races obviously knows Rick, and he's certainly an outgoing personality. And just from the few talks I've had with him, he's willing to do what it takes to get Braden to the top. And he's obviously with Santo Derisi and that whole team. They're behind Braden and all their riders 100%. And I know Santo's already stoked about the potential of Braden possibly getting this championship, and then also going forward with him for next year. He definitely wants to keep him on board. So. Braden, I'm sorry I couldn't be here for most of this. I've had poor service, and then actually had to stop and grab something to eat. We were up riding at Landon Wolf's place in Maryland, but stoked that you had an opportunity to be on, and definitely looking forward to see what you can do these last 4 races, and hopefully I won't have to mix it up with you because that means you caught me. But if you did, you know me, I'm always glad to bang bars with you.
Oh yeah, I can't wait, man. Thank you a lot, Johnny.
Well, that's great. Johnny, stand by there just a second. Braden, again, thank you for being a part of tonight's show. It has been a great experience. I got some good laughs. Johnny, you got to get back on here and listen to the replay a little later and check it out for yourself.
I can only imagine. Braden, he's always got some good stories. Him and that whole Woodhead crew. I can only imagine what they've gotten themselves into.
We didn't even get a chance to get into the Woodhead part of it. There's the question, I guess, that everyone wants to know. Tell us about what is Woodhead, where did it come from, Braden, and then we'll let you go for the night, man.
Oh, man, Woodhead started back in the cattle showing days, when before I even knew what four-wheeler racing was. I started racing in 2008. Before then, all my family's pretty big into cattle because, where we live, that's Southeastern Ohio. It's all about cattle around here. No four-wheelers, no nothing. But it started with one of my dad's good buddies that lives out in Nebraska. And he had a bunch of guys working for him and whatnot. And needless to say, they were Woodheads. You can take that and think about it the only way you want, but they're yeah, I guess you would say a Woodhead is a pretty big idiot, and then we brought it back to Ohio with us and started using Woodhead, and man, it just exploded, and everyone was loving it. So we decided we'd just make up a team of a bunch of Woodheads, and we're just a bunch of idiots having fun. So I guess that's what a Woodhead is. Anyone can be on the team Woodhead. It's not really any specific people. I mean, if you're a fun-loving person and just like to have some stupid fun, I mean, you're a Woodhead. So.
Yeah, Rodney, if I can throw one last question in for Braden. If you guys have already touched on this, like I said, I apologize. So feel free to cut me off at any time. But Braden, your crew, you guys really take things back to the roots of GNCC, the way you do things. I mean, obviously, you guys are family. I know that the Aharts live just across the field from you, if I'm not mistaken. They travel to the races with you. Kylie races the women's class in the morning, came up through the ranks just like you did. You race. You're one of the guys that have come up through the ranks. It's not like you came from another discipline or something like that. You've come up through GNCC. I don't think you ever did the youth, but I know you did or maybe you did, but I know you did the schoolboy class, and then on into the A class, and then now the obviously the XC2. But my question for you, and this is something maybe a little bit more of a serious question. Obviously, you guys have a lot of fun, and you take your racing, very seriously. Obviously, your results show that. You've got a lot of talent. Your parents are behind you 100%, putting the effort in, spending the money for you to be there. Santos supporting you 100%. So many times that you hear guys even starting back in the C class, the B class. I'm going to make this my profession. I'm going to make this my career. Is that something that at your age of 17, has that even crossed your mind yet, or you just haven't planned? Don't feel obligated to answer this question one way or another. I'm just curious. I've never actually had this conversation with you. I mean, do you see yourself, racing professionally, not just in the XC1 class, but as a profession, trying to, better yourself, possibly procure a factory ride or some type of outside sponsorship and do it for a living? It's fun for you.
It's always been my dream to make it my profession or make it my living, but man, I just never thought of it as a job, actually, like a career. I was just having too much fun for us to be anything to make any money at. If I could, I'm definitely trying to better myself and make it as big as I can. And if I ever got offered or had the chance or anything to be a factory rider or anything like that, I would. And it'd be on from there. I'd make this a profession like that, but. As of now, if I can keep this going, I'm going to try to do that. But if not, I got backup plans. I'm going to school after I graduate my senior year in high school and whatnot. But definitely, I'm going to try to make this a pretty big deal and see what I can do.
Well, good. And let me tell you, from one Ohio boy that has been at this a long time to another that I hope to see at this for a long time. Never lose fun, man. It doesn't matter what your result. Obviously results are important. That's what racing's about. But find the fun in it, even through the struggles, and the results will come around eventually. And I like what you said about making it your profession, but not making it your job. If racing becomes a job, you're doing it wrong. It's absolutely a career. It's absolutely a profession at the highest level. You got to take it serious. You got to give it 110%. Give everything for your sponsors. Give everything for yourself and your team. But this is not something where you punch a time clock. If you're not enjoying it, it's time to move on to something else. But I don't think that'll ever be a problem with you and your Woodhead crew. So, like I said, definitely pumped with the way things are going. The little bit I get to work with you this year and Rob has been great, and stoked to see what your immediate future holds for you.
Yep, thank you, John. You too.
Well, I tell you, I think, guys, the obvious question here is, which is more exciting, showing cattle or riding ATVs?
Oh my God, that is not even a question, man. And showing cattle is the most boring. It goes on. It goes on longer than a regular GNCC weekend. It drags on for 4 days out of the week, a cattle show, and it's just nothing but boring. Nothing. It's just horrible.
Yeah, and I can imagine when you go back to school after a big weekend of showing cattle, you go back in, you got your big trophy. Yep, showed my heifer this weekend. I got first place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to walk into the school all freaking puffed up and big Mac Daddy after showing a cow, but after you take a win at a GNCC race, you can come in the school acting like a big dog if you actually got something done that weekend.
There you go, man. And you've had a chance to do that a couple of times, haven't you?
Yep, just a couple times, but it feels good.
Hey, Rodney, we've, obviously our next guest, Landon Wolf. Braden, if you've got the time, he may want to stay on the line, and if he feels the need to throw in a little insight, because I know he's got a little bit different perspective. He and Landon actually went toe-to-toe a couple times last year at the end of the year after Landon wrapped up his D-Class championship, and before Braden stepped up to XC2, they got to go head-to-head a couple of times before Landon broke his collarbone, and then now actually Landon is locked in a battle along with other riders as well, but Bryce Neal, who is Braden's real good friend and also teammate over there at Derisi Woodhead Racing. So, Braden, if you got a minute, maybe stick around here with what Landon has to say, and if you feel anything you want to interject, obviously feel free.
Yep, I'll hang out here for a little bit. Let me shoot a text back to the girlfriend here. She's been blowing me up. But, yeah, I'll definitely stay on here and listen to what's going on.
All right, Braden, thanks again for taking the time to be on here. And just like Johnny said, man, anytime you want to interject. Anything you want to say before we do let you go in case this is the last chance you have?
No, I just want to thank Santo and my dad just for pushing me through all this and helping me out. And just thank you guys for bringing my name up and getting me on here and giving me a little recognition. I just want to thank everybody, and I guess that'd be it.
All righty. Sounds good. And the crowd goes wild. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Braden Henthorn here on Quad Radio Live as we get set to roll into hour number 2 here. I want to say thanks to our good friends at Impact Solutions. Once again, Impact Solutions are your, they are your factory-authorized service center for Elka Suspension, located at 985 Harris Highway in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Hit them up there on the World Wide Web at ImpactSolutionsATV.com. You can also access that website right through the front page there on the banner ads on the side of quadradio.com. And we say good evening and welcome to Johnny Gallagher once again, better known as Johnny G, and also now one of I believe it's College A top riders, and that is Mr. Landon Wolf. Good evening, guys, and welcome.
Yep. Hey, how's it going?
It's going great.
Still there, Rodney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I lost you for a second, but
okay.
Yeah, we're actually out here. I don't know, Landon. What town are we in? Hanover, Maryland, or something like that?
Hanover, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Hanover, Pennsylvania. Sorry. Well, I was in Maryland a minute ago, and I'm in Pennsylvania. Confusing times up there, Rodney. There's state lines that twist all through these mountains. So I actually came up to Landon's place to do some riding with him today, along with Chris Borich and the Howarth boys, a couple of guys that I believe ride D-Class out of the great state of New York. So we got some riding in today and tried to get some good service. We could get you a call and get Landon some fame here on the world-famous, worldwide broadcast of Quad Radio Live.
68 countries strong, my friends. That's exactly what Quad Radio is. I think
we got to get that to 200 plus, I believe, and we'll be rolling that.
Yeah, no doubt. I think what I need to do, instead of saying Quad Radio USA here in what would it be, Quad Radio Planet.
Yeah, there you go.
Global.
Quad Radio's universe.
Global.
Let's not limit ourselves to this world. Who knows? There might be some extraterrestrials out there that are tuned in that want to hear what Landon Wolf or Braden Henthorn have to say.
Hey, that's true. And, I don't want to get into this tonight, but I have been abducted a couple of times. You can ask my friends. I talk about it all the time.
Well, let's start hammering Landon, because I know they just finished up eating, and he's going to have to be driving back to the house, and his service may get sketchy. So I think we better put him on the spot, start getting him some questions, and hear what he has to say. All
righty, sounds good. Go ahead, Landon. Man, let's talk a little bit about this, buddy. A pretty good season for you so far, and you've been getting a lot of notoriety lately. I've seen that you were the focus of Tuesday Toolbox here. What was it, last week or a week before? I think it was.
I think Johnny mentioned my name about 2 weeks ago, and got myself on Tuesday Toolbox, so that was cool to have, and can't thank Johnny enough for that because I know he's the one out there helping me get my name out there, but it was definitely a cool experience to have that.
Well, tell us a little bit about Landon Wolf. Where do you come from, man?
I'm from Manchester, Maryland. 18 years old, just graduated high school this past year, and just kind of taking a few classes out at just a community college. I've raced dirt bikes ever since I was 5 years old, and just switched over to the quads, I guess, when I was 13 or 14. And honestly, I probably still ride the dirt bikes way more than I do a four-wheeler, but I'm liking the four-wheeler, and so I'll stick to it.
What is the draw to the four-wheeler for you as far as the racing end of it goes?
Dirt bikes they're definitely more fun for me to ride. I mean, if I'm out at my house riding, more of my friends ride dirt bikes, so I probably have more fun on them. They're 20 million times easier to work on. The maintenance is nowhere near a four-wheeler, but on the racing end, the competition on the four-wheeler I think is way more intense. A four-wheeler is definitely it's definitely tougher to finish a race on a four-wheeler than it is a dirt bike. And I know most people say, "Oh, it's got four wheels. You just sit on it and go." But there's no way a dirt bike is nearly as hard as a four-wheeler.
I have to tend to agree. Now, tell me a little bit about your GNCC history. Did you make the crawl up through the ranks like a lot of these guys?
Yeah, I started off just racing locals on a little Raptor 250, and then came and raced the schoolboy class a few times, and moved into C class. Won the C class, and moved up to the B class last year, and I won that, and moved up to the A, and I'm giving it my all, but it certainly ain't easy. I got a lot of competition in that class, but I have a blast up there. I mean, the more competition, it's more fun. So I'm still having fun and hoping to keep moving forward.
I tell you, looking at your results right now, I mean, you've got a very consistent season so far. You've only finished once out of the top three, and that was a fourth-place finish. And a lot of those are seconds, and you went into the break with a win, man. I mean, that has to make you feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, I started out the year awesome. I was down in Florida with Chris Butch and Johnny Gallagher racing the FTRs. Actually with Braden. Braden was down there for most of them, and I was racing the A class and was having a blast down there and was doing real good. And I think it was about 10 days before River Ranch. I was down at a race in North Carolina and snapped my collarbone. And so we went and got that plated and was actually able to race River Ranch. But I've had some bike problems, and I've had some bad luck. And,
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. You've had bike problems and you've had bad luck, and are we talking about 2012?
Yeah, we're talking about 2012.
I'm sitting here. I'm looking at the results for the 525 of Landon Wolf right now. Round one, fresh off a broken collarbone, freshly plated, third place. Round two, which was only a handful of days later in Georgia. A fourth-place position finish, and I can understand you were probably pretty. How sore were you whenever you rolled into Georgia?
Georgia wasn't so bad. Florida, I was really hurting. The sand wolves were killing my shoulder because I hadn't done anything that involved physical labor in 2 weeks, and I was actually in second and lost my front wheel bearings on the second lap, so I couldn't even finish my last lap. So I dropped back to third there and went into Georgia, and I was actually doing all right by Georgia because I went and rode a few days with Chris and Johnny down in Daytona, and and got to Georgia on a different bike, and it had a new motor in it, and the motor wasn't put together just quite right, and stalled at one time and sat there for a good minute or two trying to get it restarted. So I can't complain for sure. I definitely can't complain about my finishes. I got a guy that's working on my bikes, Barry Hessen, that does a phenomenal job keeping them together. But it's just been stupid luck, stupid stuff, little stuff that's happened, and just set us back a little bit. But I finally pulled it together at the John Penn and was able to get the win, but definitely not easily. You know, Bryson Neal and Chad Jones and everybody else in that class. I mean, I can't sell anybody short in that class because they're all flying. And but Bryson Neal and Chad Jones, we really have some good battles, and they're both awesome riders. So they deserve all the credit. So. But it's been a good year. I mean, we've had some bad luck, but overall, I've been consistent. I've finished all the races, and I can't complain.
So, yeah, for sure. So, anyway, as I was saying, a third at round 3 in North Carolina. What happened there? Bike problem?
Round 3 was Steel Creek.
Yes.
First lap, I clipped a tree, just barely clipped a tree, and bent my A-arm. So A-arm and tie rod were both bent. So I had some steering problems that whole race, and I think that race Bryson actually lost his rear brakes or something like that. So I was able to actually catch him and beat him because he was struggling with problems also. But so I mean, I still finished the race strong and got a third and got good points. So it was all right.
Yeah, it was all right, and then we got a string of what was it, second place finishes, I guess, for you after that. I mean, Big Buck Union, South Carolina second, the Mammoth Park City, Kentucky second, Limestone 100 second place finish there as well. And I know that while you're going second places there, Bryson is doing pretty well himself, taking a few wins during that time. And looks like the competition and the rivalry between you guys is really starting to heat up there.
Yeah, it seemed like every time I was getting a second, it seemed like it was to a different person every time. I mean, Roman Brown had a few wins. I think he had 2 wins at the beginning of the year. He's now moved up to XD2, but Chad won, I think, 1 or 2, and Bryson won a few, and it was always, I felt like I was always sitting second to a different person. But yeah, me and Bryson, we definitely go at it. We definitely go at it pretty hard, and it's fun. It really is fun. I have a great time. I mean, we're friends, so I mean it's fun going out. I mean, it'd be different if we didn't like each other or something, but I like him, and we have a good time out there having a battle.
I tell you, looking at the championship points right now, and how many throwaways do you guys have? Like 3?
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4.
Okay.
4.
So looking at the championship right now between you guys, 167 is the points. You've got the lead. Chad Jones, who's got 1 win and a whole bunch of seconds and thirds and a couple of fourths himself, I think is either 155 or 165. I can't quite read that. I think it's 155. Bryson, who has 5 wins, a second, a third, a fourth, and a DNF, has 154. So we start throwing the drops in there. That tightens right back up, man. These last 4 rounds are pretty critical, man. And to be able to head into the break with the win, that was pretty crucial for you, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the points in a while, but I'm pretty sure that if you took throwaways right now, I think Bryson would have the lead. So pretty much, me and Chad, we got to step up our game big time here at the second half of the season, but. Coming into the summer break with the win and with the points lead has been really nice. It's gave me some motivation. I want to go out and I want to win, and that's what it's gonna take. But you know, getting second or third in that class is definitely nothing to be ashamed of because it ain't easy to beat Dave too, and I think it's still a big accomplishment to finish that high up in the College A class.
So what's it like after each race? I mean, obviously, each one of you guys feel that you should win every time you line up on the starting line. I know Bryson feels that way. He rides like that. Chad feels that way. He rides like that. You feel that way. You ride like that. I mean, how intense is it out there on the track with you guys? I mean, do you guys ever actually get to race head-to-head, wheel-to-wheel, right down to the checkers, or is it one day somebody has a good day and runs away with it, and then the next day somebody else has a good day and runs away with it? How's that all working out there?
We definitely do go all to the starting line, thinking that we've worked hard enough for that win and we deserve the win, and we all expect to get that win that weekend. But I mean, there has been a few races where one person has walked away with it while the other two are trailing, or two people have walked away with it while one's having problems. But I mean, like at the Penton, there's Hondas. They usually give me a pretty good whooping into the first corner. They're usually like 1 and 2, or at least in the top 5, and I'm usually either like 10 or greater. It seems like I haven't seemed to get the whole starting method down like they have, but I've seemed to work my way through the pack pretty well. And like at the Penton, I caught up to Chad first, and me and him started moving up through the pack, and I think Bryson was already up front by the time we got to him. And I mean, it was pretty much us three all day long, and I followed Bryson for a while, and he just made a minor mistake and happened to slip by him, and then we battled all the way to the white flag, and I think he had a little get off out there on the motocross track, and I was able to put a little distance on him. And that's pretty much how it happened. But you know, I mean, we're 1, 2, 3 right in a row. It's usually not that big. If we all have a good day, we're all right there, and we all have the potential to win every time we get to the starting line.
That's true, and probably you guys aren't the only ones. Whenever you line up, I mean, you just have been the ones that have had not only your talent rise above the rest, but also your luck rise above the rest, I guess you could say. Because, I mean, looking down through this class right now, there's a lot of pretty good names out there. Brody Livingood, Kyle Riley, Levi Brown, Dalton Williams, Keenan Summerfield. These are guys that I don't think we've even seen the best of yet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, every single one of those guys you named, I mean, Kyle Riley, Levi Kellen, Brody, I mean, all of them. They're all very, very fast kids, and they all still have the potential to win too. I mean, I think it was maybe South Carolina. Brody Livingood was right in there with us for the longest time, and he might have just had some problems at the end of the race, or maybe just dropped back a little bit, but. Every single one of those kids has got the potential to win, and that's what we all go to the races for. And I'm sure every single one of them is training real hard all summer long because they want it just as bad as we do.
You know,
Hey, Rodney.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say about that is, you know, it's been a while since we've seen a class, whether it be XC1, XC2, you know, one of the top classes. I think College A is definitely one of those classes. Like you said, where there's so many guys that are right up there battling for wins, and I got to witness it firsthand. I believe it was the Limestone 100 this year across the finish line, sitting there just kind of, you know, catching up with the guys after the race, and a couple minutes later, you know, you hear what sounds like, you know, a pack of top pro riders ripping through the woods to the finish line, and Landon, you'll have to give me the exact order, but I believe Landon ended up third that day. I think it was, I know it was Bryson Neal that took the win, and I don't remember if it was Roman or Chad that was second, but the moral of the story is the four of those guys came across, and you can go back and look at the results.
Yeah, that's intensity, and that's what's really cool, Johnny. I mean, we're seeing that all the way around. It seems like in all the classes, it seems to have really changed a lot. I mean, there always was a hit and miss class here and there that did it, but more and more, it seems like the competition is really evening out and getting more and more fierce. I think would probably be the best way to put that.
I know for me, it's exciting to see because there was a time back, even before you were involved, Rodney. That's how old I am. When the young kids were really coming, there was a lot of young talent coming up through that was really pushing the envelope and making waves towards that front row, and then everybody else kind of, I don't know, it seemed like once they got to the top 8, for one way or another, they faded out of the sport, and now it's really, you're seeing a resurgence.
For sure, and I got to commend the older guys, and I don't know, maybe you can answer this, Johnny, whether or not the guys were as, I guess, accessible as what you and what Chris Borich and Chris Bithell and everyone seems to be the top guys, Adam McGill, all you top guys really seem to make yourself accessible out there, not only to the, XC2 guys, but I mean, I'm talking, little kids even, it seems like you guys ride with whenever they get the opportunity to be there. And even talking back to the B and the A guys, I mean, you guys ride with them just like they're anybody.
Yeah, I think there was a time, maybe just a couple short years ago, where a number of the XC1 or pro guys kind of felt like they were above. I'm not going to point fingers or mention names, but a lot of guys, kind of were maybe felt like if they weren't riding with the top guys, or they would only ride by themselves, or whatever it may be. But and I got to even go back to like even Bill. I mean, Bill was great about that. I used to spend a lot of time with him, and he would have Tracy out to ride, and local B riders and that kind of stuff. So Chris has always been that way there at the house, and actually Chris was with us tonight. Did a little riding with Landon, and he's actually on the phone right now. So if you hear him in the background, I apologize. He's not real courteous to the quad radio. He's
no
making
respect.
phone calls and yapping away in the background like it's no big deal. But no, it's he's doing business deals at 10:15 at night. He's actually on the phone with Dave Kramer, one of the XC2 guys. So that's another guy that rides all the time. So no, it is cool. I know what you're saying, Rodney, and it's great to see those guys. Those guys. I think it's pretty cool that they think it's pretty cool to get to ride with us, and we certainly like riding with the young guys because you can always learn something from everybody. And whether it's, like I said, women's class riders, utility riders. I mean, we're the current crop of pro riders. I think will ride with just about anybody. We just like to be on the bike and riding, and it's awesome to help those guys be able to come up and come up through the ranks, give them a little bit of advice, guidance, whatever it takes for them to get to the next level. So. It's, we want to see the sport grow, all of us, whether it's myself, Chris, Bill, Walker, Taylor, Chris Bethel, and all those guys. We just want to see the sport continue after we're done and see good guys up there up top.
For sure. Now, I got to ask you, Landon, what does it mean to you to be able to ride basically with the icons of the sport that you've chosen?
It's pretty much like the coolest thing ever. It's awesome that I'm close enough with Johnny and Chris especially, but everyone that Johnny and Chris they came down to my house tonight and rode, and it's awesome that the pro riders are that way in this sport. I mean, you look at any other sport, pretty much any other sport, the kids, the up and coming kids don't get the chance to do anything like this, and I'd say that Chris and Johnny are some of my closest friends, and hopefully I'll be spending the winter with them, which that'd be awesome. But it's awesome that they do that for everybody. I mean, it's not just me, and it's not just a select few, and it's not just their friends. I mean, I've been to Chris's house, and he's got kids on 250s. He's got older guys. I mean, everybody comes out and ride, and I think they have just as much fun doing that, and we certainly appreciate it a lot.
And from the flip side of that coin, honestly, the thing that kind of baffles me is when people are surprised by that. Because to me it just makes sense. I mean, I remember even going way back, how accessible Barry Hawk was and Bob Sloan and, and those guys, and even going back further than that to your, Chuck DeLulos and Norm Bish. I mean, those are guys I ran local races with, just super cool guys that were, top dogs in their sport at the time, and I was just a little punk kid on an LT80, so they were cool to me, and, this is what I've always loved to do, and it honestly, for me, it's not, I don't know, it may not make sense, but it's more awkward for me to sign an autograph. I mean, it's obviously something that's part of our job. We do it all the time. Absolutely love doing it, love the fans, but it's more awkward for me to be treated differently or to act differently than it is to just be one of the boys, because I'm just a guy that rides a quad. We just do it a little bit faster than some people. And I know Chris feels the same way. I know Walker feels the same way. I mean, like I told you last week when we were on, doing quad radio, we were out there in Iowa and Kansas in Iowa, but guys from Kansas and Nebraska and all, they act like you're some big deal, and we just ride four-wheelers, man. I mean, the sport has exploded, and obviously being on TV, thanks to GNCC Racing and all the media coverage we get, quad radio, whatever it may be. I mean, if people listen to this at home right now, that they feel like we're some type of, I certainly wouldn't even stretch to say celebrity, but and Chris, if you would quit making face in the passenger seat long enough, we've had this conversation as well, where people come up and like, it's just awesome. I get to breakfast with you at the same Waffle House. It's like, what, you're looking around like, who are they talking to that they think it's something special? I don't know. It just doesn't work that way for us. I hope our sport never does get to that level. It would be awesome to get to that level as far as exposure and that many fans. But when it gets there, I hope the guys that are there, because it certainly won't be me. I'll be long gone. But Landon, Braden, who knows? Maybe it'll be Hunter Hart. If the sport continues to grow, and those guys are Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon, LeBron James, maybe even if they get to that level, I hope they remain as accessible and level-headed as all the guys are now. That they just love riding four-wheelers.
One thing that I can say about it, Johnny, is that I think that Big Dave Coombs, when he set this all up in the beginning and made this sport for the everyman, I don't think there's any way that it's ever going to change, honestly. I think that hopefully it remains this way anyway. I hope I never see it change.
Yeah, I know Big Dave had a vision, and to see how far the sport has come, it's awesome. And, to see, Landon, what year were you born?
94.
94.
Yeah.
I was raised in 250B. So your class last year, that was the class I was racing when you were born. But 94, obviously Dave was with us till 98. It was certainly awesome to see his vision and see how far it's come. So you got a kid like Landon who was only around for just a couple of years while Dave was still around and guiding this series, but obviously his family and all the Racer Productions crew have done an awesome job since then in keeping with his original vision. And, like you said, sport for the everyman, and hopefully it'll always be that way. Not only, somebody being able to come out and try a race, but when you do get to the Barry Hawk level, the Scott Summers level, the Chris Boris level, the Bill Balance level, where you're top dog, earning yourself a lucrative living and become an icon and everything that the younger guys and the up-and-comers want to be, you still remain that everyman. And that's definitely what's cool about this.
Yep, for sure. Now, Landon, let me ask you this. You obviously got to hang out with probably what will be some of history's greatest ATV off-road racers. They are right now, obviously, currently, but whenever the history books are all written and everything, I mean, you're going to have some stories to tell around the bench racing sessions. And what do you think's probably at this point going to be one of your favorite bench racing stories to tell about racing or about practicing or anything with these guys, or just hanging with these guys, just being around them?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably too many to even think about that, but definitely one of the biggest would be just being in Florida with Chris and Johnny. I mean, I don't know if they even realize it, but that means a lot to me. I mean, I have the best time of my year down there. I mean, I have a great time down there, and I can't thank those guys enough for letting me come down there with them, and that's been great. And coming up from the Raptor 250 and meeting Chris Sports, and now Chris Sports is one of my really close friends, and he's helped me through everything. And it's not just him; it's his dad, Joe Bortz, Dawn. They all helped me out a lot. So that whole experience with him has been awesome. Honestly, it's weird, but I recently had a pogo stick crash with Chris Sports in the area, and that'll probably be in the memory banks forever, because that was definitely a big one, and I'll probably never forget that, because I mean,
Pogo
not
stick.
at all saying, yeah, the pogo stick. Chris
Now,
was
wait a
down.
minute. There's something I can't remember, but are you the one that someone said if you ever get a chance to talk to such and such, ask them about the pogo stick incident? Would that be you?
If I had to guess, yeah, that was probably me, more than likely. Yeah, it wasn't fun at all. Pogo sticks are a very dangerous toy.
A very dangerous toy. Tell
Yeah,
me. So tell me.
They lead to expensive surgeries.
Is
it's just it's not cool.
expensive surgeries. Now, wait a minute. Time out. What kind of expensive surgeries are we talking about here?
Oh, I don't know.
Landon, go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead, Landon, tell him.
Oh, all right. You want the whole story? Is that what you're
Yeah, I
asking
want the
for?
whole story.
All right. Chris Sports came down. We were, I don't even know. I don't even think he came down to ride. Oh, no. He came down to get a dual sport. Me and him took a road trip down to West Virginia to pick up some dual sports. So the day started off awesome. We had some fresh new KTM 350s in the back of the truck, ready to go home and do some dual sporting. So we came on home and rode the dual sports a little bit, came back and was playing with them a little bit, and get ready to go back out. And Chris saw, they're actually called moto sticks. So I mean, it's a heavy duty pogo stick, and he asked what they were, so he got them out. And for all of your references, Chris Sports is not so hot on the pogo stick.
He cannot jump rope. Physically can't do it.
He can't jump rope?
Yeah.
No, he
What's
can't
that?
jump rope.
Three-time champion, working on championship number 4. He's been getting
A really hard time the last 3 days about stuff, so I'm just going to give it back. He can't.
3-time GNCC champion can't jump rope, and he can't jump a pogo stick. Now, so okay, let's continue with this story. So, Landon, Chris can't jump a pogo stick. Where's this leading us to now?
Well, Chris couldn't really do it, but I mean, he was getting good at it. I think that was like his first time he ever got on a pogo stick or something crazy like that. I mean,
Wow,
no kind
that's
of kid never
crazy.
got on a pogo stick.
That is crazy.
But
right
I mean,
there.
maybe he did. But he was getting good at it, so I was like, "Oh, I can do this." And I've jumped on the pogo stick since I was
Landon,
12. Yeah, what's up, Chris? Anyway.
My limits, buddy.
Yeah, apparently Chris knows his limits just a little bit better than I do. But I've jumped on the pogo stick forever, so I go hopping down to the driveway, and the bottom pretty much just kicked out, and I ate a face full of the blacktop in my driveway and knocked my 4 front teeth out and sliced my lip open and shattered the bone above my or behind my upper lip.
You are kidding me. Oh, my
And
God.
that's pretty much how it went.
Are you on your cell, Rodney, or can I send you a picture?
I'm on my cell right now. You can email me one if you want. Just email it to rodneytomlin@gmail.com. Will be fine.
All right. Well, I did send you a picture. The first picture is actually of the imprint in the brand new blacktop driveway of Landon's full front teeth. And this is, Rodney, this is not a joke. I just took this picture today. It's true. I think we should put a link up on the Quad Radio website for that one. Because he actually, his teeth dug into the pavement. And they're still almost there, almost 2 months later, Landon?
Yeah, it's 8 weeks tomorrow.
Oh, my.
Yeah, 8 weeks tomorrow. So, and they're considering cutting out that section of the driveway and making some type of a, like a trophy out of it.
Wow.
And then the second picture that I sent you, we don't need to share this one. This is just for you to see. Is the damage to Landon from this event, just so you can get a perspective. So if in a minute here, if you can check your phone or like I said, after we get off this, you'll be able to see. It was serious. It was a big deal.
All right. Yeah, I'll try to get that up. Oh, wow. That is crazy, man. I mean, so not that it was bad enough that you did what you did, but you did it in front of Chris Borich, man.
Yeah, it wasn't fun at all.
Was Johnny, were you there too, I guess?
No, I was not. I was actually on my way to Bizzle's house for the July party, so
wow.
I got the phone call a couple minutes later after it happened, and called Landon, checked on him, make sure he was all right, texted and all that. But no, I wasn't there. I didn't get to see it firsthand. I'm glad I did. It's pretty gnarly.
Wow. So what was that like for you, Landon, to fall right in front of your idol, your hero, and now your buddy Chris Borich like that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's no big deal. I mean, it was definitely. I'm not so much worried that Chris saw it or anything, but
it was Don that you.
It definitely really sucked.
What was that?
Seeing your four front teeth lay in the driveway right in front of you, and having your lip hang out, and standing there. I think Chris actually is the one that picked up my teeth, and I asked him. I was like, I'm pretty messed up, ain't I, Chris? And now that I've been able to see myself, I'm pretty sure he was lying, because he said, "Nah, you're all right. It ain't that bad." But thanks for being nice, Chris. But I'm pretty. It's a pretty ugly sight, to be honest.
Is Chris still on?
Yeah, I'm here. It was a pretty gnarly sight. I don't know. It was definitely bad.
Wow.
It was one of the few times over the years. I've known Chris a long time where when he actually tried to call me a couple times, and I was doing some stuff and didn't answer the call. And then when I did finally get on the phone with him, the minute I heard his voice, I knew something was wrong. So it definitely scared him. I mean, it was a big deal. So he wasn't his usual jovial, joking self. He was like, "Yo, man, I need to talk to you. There was just an accident at Landon's, and he's pretty bad, man." But I told him he's not that bad, but he's pretty bad. So, Chris told Landon. Landon was all concerned. He's like, "Man, I'm not going to make teeth, Obviously, Landon's a good-looking young guy, and does fairly well with the ladies, I believe." And he's like, "Man, Chris, you're not going to be able to pick any chicks up." And Chris like, "No, buddy, it's not that bad. We'll get you fixed right up." And in the back of his head, he told me as he's thinking, "Man, you're screwed, buddy."
That had to be number one. Really, really, really bad for Landon, and it had to be probably a pretty bad situation for Chris. I can actually see him. No, man, it's not that bad. You're gonna be all right. I can see him and hear him saying that. I know exactly how he would say it. I don't know how he held his composure in a situation like that, but that is just crazy, man. 4 teeth. Now let me ask you: did you get the teeth that he picked up? Did they put those back in, or do you have new teeth?
They did. We put those teeth in a cup, and my mom and dad rushed me to a family dentist that we're real close friends with. It was pretty late at night, so the guy met us at the dentist office, and we put the 4 teeth back in, and got a wire hooked to my good teeth that kind of just holds them up. and I've been going to a specialty dentist and an oral surgeon at least once a week, I think, something like that. And the teeth I think 3 of the teeth are. I mean, teeth isn't just like a bone stuck in your head. It's got blood in it and all. And I think 3 of the teeth are pretty much dead. They ain't gonna make it. So I think next week I go back and I'm gonna get I forget, it's some tricky word, but it's like a rubber and plastic that I'm gonna get bonded to my teeth, and they'll look normal until I stop growing. And the reason they can't put implants in now is because my jaw isn't done growing. So once I'm done growing, then they'll pull them all back out and give me some permanent teeth.
So you're not going to be running around looking like a hockey player or anything, I guess.
No. My teeth will look normal next week. They're just not going to be the teeth that I'm going to go forever. Here in probably 10 years from now, I'll go back and get them all pulled out and get some permanent ones put in, some permanent implants.
Wow, Moto Stick, the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yep, that's for sure. So, I mean, Moto Sticks are awesome, and they can definitely be fun, but there is nothing stupid about wearing your nice four-wheeler helmet or any kind of helmet that protects anything from your chin to your forehead, because they're dangerous and they'll hurt you real quick.
I like that. I like how you put that. There's nothing wrong with riding them. Just the proper safety apparel is definitely recommended. Take it from Landon Wolf.
Yep.
4 teeth later.
Yep. Put a helmet on there. You won't look that dumb. You look much dumber when you got 4 chipped up teeth in your head.
So have you been macking on any ladies since you knocked their teeth out or anything yet?
Well, no. Luckily, I have a girlfriend then, and she didn't mind apparently. So gotta thank her for that. So
Gives you character.
No, I don't think it'll work that well. I'm not so sure that many ladies are into the whole missing teeth. I mean, I have teeth; they're just really chipped up.
Well, you don't care anyway because you got the lady anyway.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I obviously want my teeth back, but I'm not that worried about it. I mean, it doesn't hurt or anything, and it's no big deal, to be honest.
Well, that's great. Well, Landon, I tell you what, buddy. Go ahead.
Have you heard the expression "summer teeth"? Like summer here, summer there, summer missing.
Right. Johnny, you were a comedian, you know it?
Well, it's an existing. Buddy, that'll be all pushed up next week. You'll be good.
Yeah, I know. As long as you approve, Johnny.
We had a pretty rough meal at dinner. You guys were pretty rough on me, so I'm trying to get you back a little bit, buddy.
Yeah, you're fantastic.
Speaking of rough meals, what are you eating, man? What did you eat for dinner?
Oh, I can eat. I ate 6-ounce filet with rice and green beans. So I mean, I can eat anything as long as I can cut it up and put it in the back of my mouth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to the extent where I'm eating like applesauce with cinnamon on top every night, but
Were there?
Yeah, you got me, Johnny. I need anything
tonight.
Yeah, I was referring to tonight. Doug Howard orders applesauce at dinner at Texas Roadhouse. Gets applesauce.
Yeah, applesauce. Would you ever order applesauce in a group of men, like out to eat a manly meal at Texas Roadhouse?
Can't say that I ever have.
He just wanted some applesauce with cinnamon on top.
And a glass of milk, please. Wow. Well, I'm glad to see that you can eat, man, and it sounds like things are going pretty good for you. And actually, it doesn't sound like the missing teeth are going to slow you down one iota. You had all your teeth whenever you won the Penton, right?
Yeah, I got them all in.
You had them all in. All right. Well, that's great. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, man. And I do appreciate you giving us the call in, and I hope that that things continue to go well for you. And I'm looking forward to watching the end of this one. This championship should be a good one, and all hands on deck for this one, because I think we are about to see a barn burner through these next 4 rounds of racing. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank my mom and dad and everyone else out there that's helping me. My sister Rachel, Barry Hessen, Chris Sports and his dad Joe, and that whole crew, and Johnny Gallagher for helping me get on here, and everyone else that's helping me.
Well, I tell you, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, and I'm glad that that Johnny, because I'm like, who's hot? What's going on? And I read about you on, like I say, Tuesday Toolbox, but to get to talk to you is a whole new experience and a whole new level. And again, like I say, I just want to say thanks to you for taking your time out this evening. And Johnny, it has been. It's been a pleasure, man. I know you've been kind of hit and miss and kind of spotty here and there, but your contribution once again has been greatly appreciated and has been golden, to say the least.
Well, definitely appreciate you having me on, and always happy to help out when I can. Unfortunately, obviously, with Unadilla coming up here real quick, we got to get our training and our riding in, so sometimes that goes late in the evening, near dark, and by the time we get cleaned up and grab something to eat and all that, things are pretty hectic. So, but I love being on whenever I can, and again, thanks for having me. And Landon, great interview. Definitely looking forward to do some more riding before we head to Unadilla, and I think it's going to be good to see all you guys out there playing in bars and battling the last 4 races.
Well, alrighty, guys. Let's see. Is there anything, Johnny, that we need to pass along to the listeners out in Quad Radio land? Let's see. We mentioned something about, I think someone said something about this weekend coming up, Fast Tracks. There's a team race. You know any details about that you want to pass along?
Yeah, actually, I'm really trying to get that. Unfortunately, I'm scheduled to be down in Huntsville, Tennessee, Brimstone, event.
I think we're losing Johnny. Johnny, say it isn't so, Johnny. What's that?
I think we might have lost Johnny.
I think we might have lost him too. But what about you, Landon? You know anything more about the event going on down here in southeastern Ohio? I guess Fast Tracks right there on State Route 33 in Nelsonville, Ohio. You can go to, I imagine, fasttracks.com. We'll get you there and get you all the details. It's like a GP or something. They're going to have a team race there. I think we'll have to head on down for that one. That one should be pretty exciting. What do you got going on this weekend, Landon?
This weekend I'm heading down to Virginia to race an AMA National on my dirt bike. So I'm not going to be going over to the Fast Tracks race, but I did hear about that race, and apparently it's supposed to be a pretty big one. So I'm sure if you go to fasttracks.com, it'll be on there. I'm pretty sure Fast Tracks is having it.
Oh, yeah. And so you said you're going to a 2-wheeler AMA National?
Yep, I'm going down to, I think, Arrington, Virginia to race my dirt bike this weekend.
Is that one of those mega series events or something?
What's that?
Is it a mega series, or what is it, just a...
Yeah, it's that AMA East National Hare Scramble Series.
Oh, I thought you were doing motocross there for a second. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
Hare Scrambles.
Hare Scrambles. Got to stay in the woods, right?
Yep, that's where I belong. I too many accidents when I get too high in the air.
I can believe that. Well, again, thank you again for your time, and we hope the best for you, and good luck this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you in Unadilla, all right?
Yep, thank you for having me, Rodney.
All right, that's Landon Wolf. Earlier was Braden Henthorn along with Johnny Gallagher, and even a cameo by our 3-time and defending GNCC champion Chris Borch. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio.